Hi, Spring Arbor students. This is week 3 of BUS642. This is just the overview I do every week. We're going to hit a couple of things. Lots of ground to cover in chapters 9 through 11. I won't be able to, of course, hit all on that in a short little video like this. I'll point out a few of the highlights. And then I want to talk quickly about the Project 3 as well and the writing template that I'm sending off to you for that. So, Chapter 9. Take a look at Chapter 9. A few things out of Chapter 9 you should probably get a handle on. One of them is respondent error and administrative error. Those are on page 189 and page 193, at least in my edition, the 9th edition. And then also look at, on page 194, there's a section on classifying survey research methods. Some of this directly ties into your lab paper that has to be that's due this week as well for week 3. Chapter 10, a little bit of work on and discussion on surveys. That is how you collect primary data with surveys. So from what I know about your projects, I'll kind of help you hone in a little bit here. Some of you I know are going to be doing personal interviews. You can find some information on that on page 206. There's some discussion on telephone interviews. I remember talking with one of you. I think you'll be doing some telephone interviews if I remember correctly. And then probably one of the more popular ones is going to be the self-administered questionnaire, maybe even a mail or an email type of survey. You can find some discussion on that on page 217. Exhibit 10.4 shows it's a pretty good table on how to select the correct kind of survey for some of your projects that you're working on. Chapter 11, again, talk about collecting primary data. This time, though, instead of surveys, it's about observations, like observations of people, especially if you can do it in their work context. You can study them, talk with them, get a feel for who they are. Observing phenomena is what you're really going to be doing. And then remember, when you're as an observer, you're going to be biased, and what you see as a phenomenon versus what I might see as a phenomenon and how I see them are going to be two different things because we're biased. We have our own lenses that we look through when we look at human data, if you will, human observation. So it's okay. Like if I was to study something versus you, same person, we probably would see something different, and that's acceptable when we're talking about this kind of observational study. Exhibit 11.1 on page 237 lists some of those different kinds of phenomena that you can be looking at. Pretty good list there. Exhibit 11.2 has a lot of nonverbal communication type skills that you should be looking for, or things that you should be looking for when you're talking with people or when you're observing them. When I did my dissertation, I did a qualitative study. So I did a lot of observations of people, talking with them, a lot of like face-to-face interviews. There were no like fill out the survey kind of stuff. And you know you got a good question. For those of you who are going to be doing a qualitative survey, you know you have a good series of questions when you can draw out conversation and emotion. Okay? What I observed in the people that I talked to, sometimes I observed anger in the voices. I observed loud animation, lots of work with their hands and that sort of thing, because they were really into the question that I was asking them. I even had people cry a number of times. And you know what? When that kind of thing happens, you always have to give permission to the participant to stop the interview and kind of collect themselves and then start again. That's part of the IRB process and learning when to stop the interview and when to start it back up again. The internal review board process, so speaking of that, be working on that training. There's a link in week one's, in the syllabus in week 1 that takes you to the training for what used to be called the Human Subjects Review Board. It's called the Internal Review Board now. It's all about working with human participants. And remember, we're dealing with people here, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, especially if you get into some of those open-ended questions that may bring out a lot of emotion. Okay, let's switch over to the writing template and project number 3 that's due this week. So as part of the announcement going out with this overview and the devotional will be an updated writing template. Again, let me talk about that template. I converted all of last week's red text back into black text because that was related to project number 2's work. This week, when you look in the writing template that I'll attach, week 3's project work will be in red, and it'll be scattered throughout the document so you know where to plug it in. Again, you are building chapters 1, 2, and 3 as you go here. Update your project 2's paper that you'll get back with me from comments with the red text from this week's writing sample, and that becomes the project 3 submission. Each week you are resubmitting to me an updated version of this project paper that we're building. Again, building toward chapters 1, 2, and 3. I will try to grade project 2 papers before the lab work this week, so you can get feedback sooner than later on project 2's response. You can see my responses back. For project 3, again, resubmit your project 2 paper with the red text from the writing sample that's attached, along with any corrections or suggestions that I might have for you. Put them into call it project 3 and resubmit it to me. Saturday sometime in the morning, if you have time, again, this is an opportunity for you to do this if you want to. Let me know if you want to spend a few minutes on Zoom, and we can talk about your project paper as it develops and evolves over the course of this class. I want to help you out. I'm open anytime from about 7:30 in the morning to about noon this coming Saturday. Email me a 20 to 30 minute block of time if that's what you want to do, and I'll spend some time with you one-on-one going through your paper. Let's see. Don't forget to use the correct APA reference for our book. It's in that writing template reference section, so you can cut and paste it and use it as is. I'd also encourage you to find someone maybe with a project similar to yours, or maybe in a similar industry, and give them your paper. If not this week, then next week. Let somebody else read your paper besides me. Get some more input, some critical feedback from those folks as well. Okay, I think that's it. I think I got everything covered. Listen, you guys are doing great. I know this is a lot of hard work. You can do this. Remember, you're amongst a very few select people that you work with who can go to school, have family, and do research all at the same time and work a very full job. So you guys are doing something that is not very easy. You should be proud of what you're doing. All right, have a great day.